Hello and welcome. I am Sarah Lockett. We are going to be talking this evening to a producer and a writer, producer, director. Now, the film that we're talking about this evening is called Before I Die, and it is nominated in the Best Documentary category in the MiraBan UK Film Awards, the third annual awards festival that we have had. And we have managed to get our director on the phone. So he's here. He's going to be speaking into my microphone. Hopefully that will work. But before we speak to our juror and our producer, let's first watch a little bit of the trailer.
अंतर मन पर कुछ सवाल अक्सर गहरी चोट करते हैं। क्यों हरी भरी धरा की काया सूख कर पीली पड़ गई है?
मैं लंबे समय से सफाई के विषय को लेकर चिंतित रहता था, उसके लिए प्रयास करता था।
ये बहुत बड़ा एक सवाल रहा कि गंदगी जो है उसको कैसे हटाया जाए। तो जब स्वच्छता करते थे लोग दोबारा वहाँ कूड़ा फेंक देते थे।
मरे हुए जानवरों की टांग को रस्सी बांधी और यहाँ पर गिर जाते थे।
डॉक्टर रामजी जयमल ने एक तरीका जो निकाला, जो हमें पता चला कि गंदगी हटा करके वहाँ फूल लगा दो तो दोबारा लोग गंदगी नहीं फेंकें।
जब ये चारों तरफ गांव के गंदगी हटाते थे ना, तो बहुत इनके साथ लड़ाइयाँ होती थी गांव वालों की।
पूरे एरिया में मुझे कोई राम राम नहीं करता था।
तो ये तो अपनी दुकानदारी चलाएंगे, ये फूल पौधे लगा के फूल बेचेंगे, अपने फायदे के लिए कर रहे हैं ये सब कुछ।
बाजार में जाते कोई इधर से गाली देता, कोई इधर से, हम चुप करके सुनकर आगे चले गए।
जहाँ भी जाते थे लोग कहते थे भी तेरे भाई ने हमें बर्बाद कर दिया।
बड़ी मुश्किल से अपने परिवार का गुजारा चला पाता, लेकिन अपनी बेटी की तरह ही बेचता हूँ ये समझ के। और जब ये जवान हो जाती है तो बाप को चिंता होने लगती है कि मुझे अपनी बच्ची को ब्याना है, वैसे ही इसको मैं हर साल ब्याह देता हूँ। देखिए, मैं ये चाहता हूँ कि जब मैं इस दुनिया से जाऊँ तो मेरे गांव में मोर, और उस रात को मोर जरूर बोले। मैं उम्मीद करता हूँ कि ये क्षेत्र ऑर्गेनिक हो जाएगा और जब मैं मालिक के पास जाऊँगा तो मेरे गांव में मोर होंगे। कुछ रुख मैनू पुत लग देने।
Ayanjit Sen, you are one of the producers of the film. Such an interesting film. Why did you want to make this film?
Well, I'd say that social issues is something which have always kind of been something very close to my heart, and especially in the South Asian part of this world, it's very important that there are certain issues which should be brought to the fore, and I believe that this kind of a it's not a paradigm shift, but definitely a try from a person who has done his or her best and have tried to change the world from where it has been to where it is now, and that's the journey that needs to be there at the forefront, where people should actually see and learn from that as well. So that's been the inspiration behind it.
That's it. And just for people who haven't seen it, it's the story of a man in India who started to plant flowers in areas where people were chucking rubbish. And because they were so beautiful, people stopped eventually just throwing dead animals and rubbish and junk in these places. And it's been a great environmental story. So Thomas De Air, if we can ask you, you're the juror in this category. What did you think of it?
Oh, I loved it because first of all, I knew nothing about this region specifically and about the problem, the concern that Indian people have with environment. So I was completely virgin of any kind of opinions or even prejudices about that. So that was great because I learned a lot, first of all, and I learned that we can have a kind of a dedication and every single day it seems as this doctor never stops, he really believes in this commitment. That's really great to see that. Is that possible that I ask you a question as a producer? Okay, great. Are you the one who really wanted to make the documentary, or is it Nakul, who came to you and say, there is a great subject that I'd like to make a movie about?
Well, it's complementary, I would say, because definitely he came forward, but at the same time, since I've been, associated with social issues in a big way, and things have changed in India over a period of time, and it has gone for the better, and it's going even better now as we go ahead. So, compared to what India was maybe 50 years back to what India is right now, there has been a paradigm shift, and that's definitely on all fields, especially to do with environment, cleanliness campaigns and stuff like that. It has changed for the better in the last maybe I would say about 10 years or so from now onwards. As we go ahead, we are going to see that change coming further, and people are getting much more attentive to small issues as well, which are to do even with simple cleanliness of roads, to cleanliness of the roads leading to their homes, whatever it is, but it's to do with that cleanliness campaigns. To what India was 50, 60 years back to what India is right now, there is a huge shift, and that shift has been because of the social campaigns that have been taking place over a period of time by different persons altogether from different fields, who have given their best without even earning whatever they can, but they haven't thought from the process of earning. They have given a more of a social service, and that's something which definitely has changed the way India is right now, and will, as we go ahead, it's going to change for the better as well.
That's the idea, isn't it? For ordinary people, not the Bill Gateses or the very rich people of the world, but ordinary people doing something for the environment, for the planet.
Absolutely, because that's how the entire thing goes. Because it's to do with, and at the same time, it's not always easy to come to the forefront, because to get media attention, to get being talked about everywhere for what you have done, that's not something these people are groping for. They are just actually concentrating on what their main aim is, and their aim is to, as far as whatever the campaign that they're associated with, is to make it successful. And to make it successful, the ways that they're taking ahead, and despite all the difficulties that they face over a period of maybe 10 years, 5 years, 8 years, depending on the campaigns and whatever it is, but they have been successful, because at the end, success speaks. So that's what I think is the main core. And as Indians, I would definitely I would say with pride that despite people from different social backgrounds, different economic backgrounds, whenever they have stepped up for a cause, they have always achieved it.
Fantastic. And I was going to say, Thomas, it was a real window on another world that I knew nothing about. Was it the same for you? What were you thinking about when you were watching it?
Yes, absolutely, and it was an entire, as I said, I was virgin somehow, so it's great, because this is the best way to discover something. And really, what touched me the most is that, as you just said, this is regular people, not people who have somehow, always an interest, whether it's a good one or a bad one, whatever it is, but they just have those people, the interest to live in a good environment, and to be aware of the best way to make it work, and to live with the environment as clean as possible. So I really loved it. I would like to ask a question, whether it's to the director or the producer, but you let me know, guys. This region, that was actually, you shot this documentary in a region, Sirsa, am I right?
Sirsa. It's north of India, yeah.
And so during the winter, it's very, very cold, and I guess that was a very harsh context for shooting a movie.
Absolutely.
So I wonder, Ramji Jemal, this person who is very much active in defending the environment, he has putting a lot of energy every single day for that cause. And somehow I would say, I hope he's not going to be offended, but this is almost crazy to be as dedicated to the, to a cause. And I wonder how it has affected your way of doing the documentary. Is this craziness a kind of inspiration for you as a producer and as a filmmaker?
Yeah, I would like to say here that definitely in terms of as part of the film, I would say that I won't call it craziness to that extent, but it's craziness for the cause.
Yeah,
So
right.
it's absolutely from that perspective, and in India, it has always been like that. That people who have got after something to achieve, they have achieved it even in the most adverse of circumstances, and that's something which has propelled us to kind of go ahead and be with him, and just to kind of get get people to see how this entire thing has enveloped over a period of time, and how it has come to the fore despite all the difficulties that this person has faced. But it's at the end of the day, it's he who's kind of done the job for the world. That's it.
And you mentioned difficulties. I was just going to say, as one of our final questions, did you have any particular difficulties or problems making the film?
Well, first, of course, is a little bit on the financial side, because as a producer, I have been making social short films, and documentaries on social issues. So when it comes to those kind of issues, they are not always at the forefront of being bought by by an app, or by because we're not making a full-fledged film for that matter. So from that perspective, it's something like you're giving money for a cause, but I would say that money was definitely a problem, because that's something which funding was a problem, but and that's something we really groped. That actually resulted in the fact that it took a pretty long time for it to be shot, because apart from the winters and all the other difficulties, but it's more to do with the financial side, which we had to really kind of get to terms with. And but despite all that, as you say, I would always say that it's despite all the difficulties that we faced, I would be very happy to say that at the end of the day, we could bring to the fore the fight of a person who felt that something can change the world, and the way it has been.
Fantastic. What a great note to end on. What I would just say is, remember, if people want to see all of the entries, the finalists in these festival, then you take a look at MiraBan UK Film Awards.co.uk, and all of the films which are finalists are available there for streaming. And do remember that you can vote for your favourite, because there is the Best Film Audience Award. Now, to do that, you have to go onto Facebook, and you have to join the Facebook group, which is called London Film Events. Join the group, and then you'll be able to vote for your choice. So do that. And in the meantime, I'm going to have to say thank you so much to you, Ayanjit Sen, producer of this fantastic Before I Die documentary. Apologies to Nakul Dev, the director. We did have some communication problems there, didn't we? We'll have to edit those out.
Yeah, thank you very much, for having us, and of course making the film, at least, because it's all to do with the fact that the cause and the cause of the entire thing should be there before the people of the world to see, because that's the main motto. And from an Indian standpoint, the way the country is growing further over the last 10 years, and the way it is going to grow further in the future, all these kind of human, simple man or a simple woman coming out and doing something spectacular, which stands as an example, not just before the country, but before the world. And being with my part of my life spent in the UK, in London itself, I can say that when I come back to my country, and I've spent a lot number of years over here, it's something for the better, for the positive that I've seen, and that's something which I'm really proud of.
Perfect. What a good note to end on. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you also, Thomas De, so the juror in this category. Just remember that the award ceremony does take place on Thursday evening. If you are in London, or if you have friends in London, you can get hold of tickets still. And so do remember to do that. So that's going to be the end of this live stream. But thank you, everyone, for taking part. Thank you.
Thank you.